So how do you know if you're choosing the right baits or not? You ready to run a gun? It's time for blast off. Let's go. Hey guys, Todd here with you. Welcome to Bassin 101. Truck talk of the day. Choosing the right baits. What exactly does that mean? Well, I'm finally getting down to the nitty gritty as far as choosing my simplified your fishing stuff, and I really have. You'd be surprised how much I've narrowed it down. There's something you have to consider when you're choosing baits. For one, how deep do you fish? How shallow do you fish? Not only that, what kind of cover do you normally fish? Do you normally fish open water, grass? What kind do you have? And this all may seem like trivial stuff, but it's actually quite serious. Because think about this. All right, if you're fishing shallow water, let's say you're in an area 10 foot and less, okay? Most of your crankbaits can cover something like that. Most of your spinnerbaits can cover something like that. So can your jerkbaits. But let me ask you this. If the conditions are perfect to throw a spinnerbait, let's say you got windy conditions, a little off-colored water, stained water, murky water maybe, a spinnerbait's a good choice. And the way I look at it is, if I'm going to be throwing a spinnerbait in water like that, I don't need to tie on anything else. I'm not going to need to tie on 3 or 4 different kind of spinnerbaits. I'm not going to need to tie on, say, crankbaits to go through that water as well. Maybe a jig or a worm or something like that. And I mean, if you're covering water, if you're trying to figure out where they're located, that spinnerbait's going to be your main deal. Let's say you come around the corner from that water, and now you're up on rock. Well, you could throw a spinnerbait up on that, but I would probably start choosing a crankbait, bounce it off the rocks. And let's say this is the main kind of lake that you're fishing all the time, just because it's easy access, or maybe you fish from the bank and that's that kind of stuff, or a river. Those are pretty much going to be the 2 main baits that you may carry, if this is helping to explain it. Or if you're in a topwater situation and you know that a specific topwater is going to work in that particular situation, and you do that kind of fishing a lot, you're going to have your one bait. Everybody does. I kind of like a spook myself. I kind of like to cover water, because top water is a small window. A lot of times it's a very small window, so you don't need to carry a lot of baits. That's a perfect example. You've got a small window a lot of times to throw top water, and you better have that one bait that you have the confidence in and use it, especially if it's in the right situation. I wouldn't be throwing a prop bait out in open water. That's just not what a prop bait's made for. It's made for cover. But if you fish a lot of open water, that's not going to be your best bait of choice. So, just the same thing as soft plastics. I've been really trying to decide what kind of soft plastics I'm going to carry, and you'd be surprised it's narrowed down to almost nothing. And because I'm thinking, if I'm going to be fishing soft plastics, I soon be fishing this one particular bait and just make it several different ways to throw it, several different ways to present it. There's no sense. In other words, there's really no logical sense. And of course, I'm kind of referring to bass fishermen as being logical. But as far as the logical sense part of it, if you're in a certain situation and you know one particular bait's going to be the best bait to throw, there's no reason to tie the other ones on. You see where I'm going? So why would you carry a whole lot of baits to fish a particular situation when one bait for you is going to be the one that you go to? That's simplify your fishing. That's choosing the baits properly, choosing the right baits. It's like I said a while back in some of the spinnerbait videos I did, where I said if I had one type of blade to throw as far as finish, it would be nickel, because it covers all the grounds. However, I do like gold, and I do like some chartreuse blades. Shoot, I even like copper. But I would have to say nickel is probably the main one. When I had Stanley build me a bunch of spinnerbaits before they closed shop, I just had them make them all with nickel, and I could just change the blades if I need to. But again, choose your baits wisely. Don't just carry a whole tackle box full of baits just to fish shallow water. Don't carry and I know guys. Oh my gosh, I know guys that carry one tackle box literally for shallow water. They carry another one for brush. They carry another huge tackle box for weeds. They carry this, that, and the other. It's like, man, knock that down. I mean, if you have a specific bait that you prefer to throw in that type of water, then that's what you need to carry. I mean, what are the odds of them going to another bait in your own experiences? That's something to think of. What do you guys think? As far as choosing the right baits, choosing the baits that work the best for you, and everything else, you build confidence in it. So tell me what you guys think about that, because I know a lot of you guys are going to have some interesting ideas on this topic. A lot of you guys are. I know y'all. I got some of the coolest subscribers there is, man. You guys are nuts. But that's all I got for today. So remember, till next time, new techniques are trendy, but bass never change. May the Father bless you and keep you in Yeshua's name, and as always, fish on.